Okay, so I feel like in general, a lot of people hate when you change things in the book when you make the movie. And I feel like Suicide Squad is getting a lot of that. Harley Quinn's outfit is getting a lot of that. Someone even commented on the Joker and her relationship and how they're getting a lot of that. Also, even Greek mythology, Hercules. If you know anything about Greek mythology, you know that's not completely accurate. And some guy commented, well, it's ridiculous how, well, he didn't say ridiculous, but he sure didn't seem happy that they were inaccurate. Well, I never grew up as a comic book nerd. I was never reading the comic book. Now I'm very interested after seeing Suicide Squad. But one thing I will say is, in general, I've noticed I don't believe everything has to line up with the original book or the original things they work. I'm a huge fan of twists. I'm a huge fan of twists and turns. And I actually do know a pretty decent amount of Greek mythology. And I've known about it for a while. And then I've watched Hercules, and I can specifically tell you, for the most part, what is different. I think that, and to me, that makes me happy. It makes me happy that I know that information. Because it shows me I've learned something about Greek mythology. But I have been a huge Greek mythology fan, yet it does not bother me that they twisted things for Hercules. In fact, I like the twists. In fact, I say embrace it. Take Greek mythology and take it to your inspiration and make it whatever you want it to be. Because that is art to me. So I really do think that I feel this way about anything in general. Yes, maybe it's unfortunate for the author if there's a book and you're changing things without her consent. I understand why people don't like that, but I'm not really just talking about that. I'm talking about Suicide Squad and other things. What is wrong with them taking the Joker and Harley's relationship and maybe making him to where he actually loves her versus in the comics where he didn't actually? If that's what really happened, because that's what somebody told me. What is wrong with them putting their own twist on it? In fact, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that they're taking it and they're like, as their inspiration, they're like, you know what, we're going to do this with it. As if it's art being splattered as if it's like paint being splattered on a canvas. That is exactly how I visualize these type of things, and that is what I love. Now, I'm not sure I'm crazy about Harley Quinn's costume. I will actually agree to that. However, I don't like her original costume either. And a lot of people will say they prefer that one. Or the people who grew up with it will say they prefer that one. But I don't like it. It's so anti-sexual, and to me it's kind of cheesy. I understand that they kind of are going for the gesture type of look, it seems. But I think that there's a happy middle point, I think, with maybe the similar colors and similar symbols, but more sexual and more interesting. Because I find Harley Quinn very fascinating, and what I love about her is that she's sexual, but she's also a very interesting person. She's colorful. She's not dead inside. She is so vibrant and has so much life, and when she's also sexual, I find her even more fascinating. And I, at least to my knowledge, am not bi. I'm just saying it makes her more interesting to me and more relatable because I am that way. So I love that they sexualized her costume, actually. Did I necessarily like the exact costume and the punk look? No. No. And actually it has inspired me to create my own Harley Quinn costume for the next cosplay event, hopefully. I'm hoping to maybe dress up with her. I might wait till after the summer, though, because I don't want to be like everyone else where there's a whole bunch of people dressed up like her and I'm just one of them. I don't want that to be the case. I have a lot of other interests as well. I can dress up as other things. Let's be real here. But, so one point is I'm interested in checking out the comic books now, thanks to the movies. We'll see if that happens or not. And two, I don't think changing things from the original story plot is always a bad idea. I understand there's always going to be some people who are unhappy about that. But in general, I wish I could hear some people say, you know what? I think it's cool that they changed that. Or you know what? Oh, I like that. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's not what the original did. I would like to hear some people out there who actually think changes are cool. Or actually think, you know, it's cool. And you know what? I don't. I've never heard anyone say that. So, but I think it. I feel like it is. So I'm going to say it. You know, I'm going to be the one to say it. And so this is just so that I can be heard and throw my viewpoint out there. And this is my viewpoint on the possible changes that were made in Suicide Squad and what I think about them, the definite changes in Harley Quinn's costume, and the changes in Greek mythology and Hercules, and how I think they are amazing, and I am like, go for it, go for it, go for it, go for it. And again, you can argue, well, you weren't a huge comic book fan. You didn't go through reading it. Of course you're okay with changing it. Well, you know what? But I grew up with Greek mythology. I studied Greek mythology for a long time. I watched Hercules when I was a kid, but then you don't watch it for a while and you study Greek mythology for years, and I'm like hugely into it. And then finally you go back and watch Hercules, but it didn't upset me that they changed things. It didn't bother me, and I was a huge Greek mythology fan without a doubt. There was no doubt in my mind that I was, and yet I was okay with it. So let that sit in your cauldron and stir it. Think about that for a while, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was awesome that they changed things. I love when artists take an idea and spin it, because to me that is the very essence of creativity. Even with things like Suicide Squad or comic books, or anything. Books, I guess it's good to get the permission from the author, if you can, but, as long as you can do that, then I say take it and run with it. I think in general, am saying that I am all for that. And am saying that there are some things I like that they changed about Suicide Squad. So, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, sometimes change is a cool thing. Sometimes both stories are really cool, and it's awesome to have two different ideas on this planet Earth. At least that's how I feel, and I just want to be heard, so that's why I'm making this video. Thanks for checking it out. My name is Andrea. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, and maybe I'll have a new subscriber. Who knows? Bye!